favorites against Excellent, but very good play from Pew's team. And I mean, we talked about him during the podcast, saying this was not the same team Excellent. Well, I guess you're right. It's not the same team Excellent because they're going to the semifinals right here, taking out a heavy favorite in IG, which a lot of people probably would have rated in the top 5 teams in Han right now. So great shout out over there to Excellent and Pew. But we've got this match right now. Lions Esports Club now pretty undoubtedly the favorite team to take this entire event, going up against AFK Milking Cows and Emp. I am very, very psyched for this best of 3.
I'm psyched too. I mean, I said it before. I considered a lot of the teams that weren't. Well, Lions Esports Club I would have normally included in that list, but I said a lot of the teams that weren't Complexity, Stay Green, and X Trademark. I felt like a lot of those teams were not that they were bad. Like they had great players on it, but I felt like the teams weren't really truly solid yet. And I think that's why we saw a lot of the upsets. So I would have formerly included Lions Esports Club into that list, and still might, but. You know, now with the pickup of Jonas and Pan, they seem to be a little bit more in their groove. But before, you know, after they replaced Krebson left ways, and they tried to pick up Sky, so something just seemed off. They didn't seem like they were playing with the same fire. So far throughout this tourney, they seem like they're in a lot better spirits. Looking forward to seeing what they can put out. Meanwhile, the Vietnamese, why do I keep saying that? The tag men, AFK Milking Cows. I mean, they're on a high themselves, so looking forward to it. But in this game, Beef, we are in the blind bands. You want to get those off here?
Yeah, we're actually way past the blind bands here.
The blind bands. I mean,
the Monkey King and Scout going to be banned out here by the Legion team. So seeing the Scout pick up yesterday, seeing how effectively Pee-wee was able to run that in the suicide lane, and not today. Flux and Oogie being banned out by the Hellborn team, and very interesting blind bans.
Yeah, it was actually Fabelli. Did you say Fabelli or Pee-wee?
I said Fabelli, or I said Pee-wee. I meant Fabelli.
Yeah, Fabelli is the suicide player for them. But yeah, yeah, not today. Meanwhile, we saw Keeper. You know, those blind bands led way to a Keeper of the Forest and Tempest lock here right away. Our good friends there. Meanwhile, the Ophelia and the Parasite. So a lot of the jungling capable suicide. Plus jungle options here that we saw very prevalent in the meta of the previous patch, still showing its cards. So we'll have to see whether or not another hero gets picked up like the Engineer, which you consider to be almost a ban, unless the teams choose to forsake a hero like Parasite and just grab one of those 3 heroes between the Keeper, Tempest, and Ophelia.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Right now, we do take a look at the bans real quick. Hanskin choosing to ban out Empath, no surprise there. Saw how well support was playing that hero yesterday. Do not want to get Empath this time. Rally, Deadwood, also going to be banned out for your initiators. Then you got your carries down there, Artillery and Moon Queen, as well as the Armadon, something that Lions has proven to be a pretty damn staple hero of theirs. So lots of very, very tailored bans there.
Right, and the other thing is they couldn't really afford to lock Empath in this game like you saw in some of the other games because of the fact that there's such a powerful lock pool. Locking up Empath would have been just banning it from themselves, so they're hoping they could get it through. Did not in a case like this. The other thing I wanted to mention is that, okay, Master Arm's first pick, they're pretty much forced to pick up Keeper of the Forest here, if I'm not mistaken, out of the lock pool, because you know what? Keeper Tempest, damn strong. Keeper Ophelia, ridiculously strong, so... they're forced to pick up Ophelia or Keeper, I should say, because the other way would be terrible. I mean, they might be able to get away with a Keeper Tempest fighting against it. We've seen Stay Green did find a couple solutions to it in their time, sort of out pushing and capitalizing on the lack of damage. When you're seeing a Torturer here, that hero alone almost makes sure that you have enough damage for a Keeper Tempest. So I would, yeah, probably lean towards grabbing it. But that being said, Master of Arms fits well with either the Keeper or the Ophelia.
Well, it certainly does, and so Lions will be picking up 2 more here. I will say that of all of our top-tier teams, Lions is not necessarily afraid to give up that Keeper Tempest combination. I've seen them give that to their opponents multiple times, and I've seen them actually have some success in defending against it. So
the thing is, man, they can't draft Ophelia Parasite if they want those jungles, so they'd have to be only going for one of those and then going for a different laning setup.
Yeah.
You know, if they have a Keeper or Tempest, they can get the remnants of Ophelia and Parasite because the other team's not going to grab Ophelia and Parasite. So that's why I think it's safer to grab something like that Keeper of the Forest or the Tempest. And in this case, because Ophelia and Parasite are going to be consuming that jungle role, I think it just makes a little bit more sense.
They're going first pick NG out of the lock pool, man. I don't know.
It looks like it with that
They
Devo. It looks like they're just going to be okay with just having one jungler and not going for the double jungle setup. You're right.
I don't know. They might do it, but they already do have the Glacius, so something to pair up with that Devo. And this is definitely a hero that Lions has shown as an absolute signature hero of Super KGE. And it's a pleasure to watch his Devourer. It really is. He plays an extremely aggressive mid lane Devourer for the most time. Although the last 2 times I've seen him, they've put him into the long lane and had a farming Devo, which is not something that I'm too big of a fan of. He just does not seem to scale super well with that farm if he's not able to make that early game presence felt.
Yeah. So you said you think they're going first pick NG out of this lock pool. You,
I think I'm going to revise that and say they're not
yeah,
going to.
I would say I think they have options, whereas grabbing one of the junglers might just be safer and having their pick of the jungle because I think they still have options even if they don't.
Yeah.
I know the Devo NG is very powerful, so I wouldn't like to write that off, but that would be giving the enemy team like perfect control of their pick. So I would say that'd be a little silly. Okay, Keeper of the Forest seemed to be the safest option of all of those. Engineer still very likely to slide on through, given the fact that they're going to grab something like that Tempest plus another jungler probably here. So
Now, looking
they
at
don't have
this,
to, though.
yeah, they certainly don't have to. The Keeper of the Forest most likely is going to be heading into the suicide lane. If it goes into the jungle, then they're going to have to run a dual long lane suicide. Is that correct?
If it goes into the jungle, they should just stop. They should just stop right there and not worry about it because Keeper.
Okay.
They're actually going to be able to get Keeper Tempest. Tempest not being picked up here. They're going for the Pebbles draft instead, alongside the Lodestone. You know, I feel like Tempest is a really versatile laner himself too, man. So, you know, I don't know, going for the Pebbles instead. I felt like they had enough damage between the Lodestone and the Tor. I can definitely understand why they would go for something like Pebbles, though. That being said, giving Keeper Tempest here to the Lion side, it's almost a really, really difficult combo to snag whenever you're first pick. And combined with this Devourer, okay. So in terms of damage output, it's a little bit more awkward, but that Master of Arms, man, I mean, that Acid Bomb down on top of the Keeper of the Forest lockdown, Devo picking people off the Glaciers, they don't actually have the biggest amount of sustained damage, I suppose. I mean, Devo is pure sustain, but I mean, he's getting to the center of that fight, so it really does sort of depend. But I still think it's a really devastating team. Tons of push in terms of anti-push. I mean, they have all the push in the world, and then the Devourer is able to stop the push in a single hook. Really interesting lineup, and we're going to see that Master of Arms played as more of a point hero in this lineup, sort of carry the way. Meanwhile, on the Hellborn side, looking at more of that carry torture route here. Not carry torture, support torture, I meant. Support playing that support torture.
Supporter.
Yeah, supporter, I would say. You know, Pebbles, Zergo. We said it before, man. He's an excellent, excellent player. We do have to think back to that game too, man, where they ran that Suicide Critics and Pebbles, unfortunately, Zergo fell short on his son, creating this horrible anti-momentum for his team, where they got killed in response and weren't able to get that pick off. So I do trust Zergo's Pebbles, though. He's been playing phenomenally throughout the event, outside of that one play, and I'm sure we'll see another amazing performance.
Yeah, and it's really odd to go back to that one over and over again. For those of you that were not watching in Game 2, there was a setup stun as they were trying to set up a gank mid, and unfortunately Stalagmites just blatantly misplaced from Zergo on that Pebbles, and that did actually set up 3 deaths on his team as a result. And like you said, the anti-momentum, so got to be very, very careful, and we'll see if he's going to be up to the task with Pebbles in this game. But taking a look at the lanes, most likely, we are going to have that Bubble soloing short. Torture going to be heading mid with Pebbles. They're going to meet up against Glacius and Devour. How do you see this mid lane shaking out?
You said Torture heading mid with Pebbles, but it could be very likely something like that. Well, okay, actually, yeah, we do see the ring. It looks like they did some lane swapping around, though, at first. We had him to go ward bottom, but he's not actually going to go there now. And we saw Zergo heading top, so whether they're going to be edging him out or whether they're making an adjustment and choosing to run that Pebbles dual lane top instead into Bubble solo mid, we'll have to see. Bubbles does have escape mechanisms if he is going against Devourer, which is one thing they might be trying to sort of dodge against. I mean, the only thing that threw me off was the fact that we see him heading to the top lane there.
He was actually
just have a mid-item build.
just using his hatchet to cut down some choice trees.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, trying to open up additional paths for Ophelia and make sure that she has additional vision up there.
Okay.
So
I didn't quite catch what he was doing at the start there, so okay, that makes a lot of sense. He is just cutting it down. His item build is that of a standard mid hero, so and we do see the ring of protection coming out, the guardian ring for Bubbles. So, yep.
Yeah, yeah. Bubbles is actually, I don't know what he's doing. He's got the wards on him, and I'm not quite sure why. As he's not going to be heading into that bottom lane. He might head down to drop one. I don't know.
Yeah, they might have been initially plotting for it, but
there we go. He hands him off to Tort. So
Bubbles, if he's using that shell surf effectively, he can cut through from the base, cut down, go through to the ancients, cut across, and get there before the Legion team can respond.
Yep.
And get a safe ward off. So maybe they were planning that, but didn't have the execution for it. Unfortunately, didn't get to tightly watch that, and we can't go back in time here. We see Jonas and Fan there with those tree dogs trying to run him in and get the lane full. Hopefully, he gets to delay him by quite some time here to screw up the lane positioning for Zergo. You see right here, he sort of.
And how about that? Pebbles is actually up in this top lane right now. Yeah, there's the tree dog pull. So there you go. I mean, you were a little bit interested to see if they would rotate this Pebbles up here, and in fact, they will, putting the Bubbles middle lane. And I actually like this choice going up against the Glacius Devo, especially against the Devourer. But against the Glacius, it's going to be a little bit harder with that Ice Imprisonment. If they catch him at the proper time, especially once Devo hits 6, this Bubbles could actually be in a fair amount of trouble.
By the time Devo hits 6, your Bubbles is probably going to be 6 though at that point. So. I mean, honestly, you shouldn't be sitting around there. So I think so anyway. So looking at that, I mean, okay, they did put Bubbles against the lane. They're obviously afraid of this Glacius Devo combination. Just wanted to make sure that Pebbles is going to stomp. And I think Bubbles is phenomenal in those 2v1 setups. They have to create the room here for the Pebbles to actually get that free farm. Right now, the lane control is kind of wonky. It's on his side with the towers nailing into creeps. Pebbles is no stranger to last hitting creeps at towers, though, with his massive base damage and the hatchet, so that should be easy enough for him, picking up all this farm here. And we saw VDT, actually, compared to other teams, I felt like they were running the dual lane safe lane a lot more than, we're typically used to seeing.
Yeah, definitely something that they are comfortable with and support. I mean, when he's playing those heroes that he's very strong on, he definitely has the capability to get those pickoffs onto Suicide Heroes. We saw multiple times yesterday from his Empath. But one thing that I do want to actually point out here is that they are actually stacking this pull already, as we see Torture going over to get that triple stack. And when you are able to get that pull off, it is very, very nice to have 2 up in this lane, because Torture is going to be able to get tons of great gold and experience from this pull, and he's going to be able to maintain perfect lane position for his Pebbles.
Mm-hmm. It did get a little bit harder to get the gold when you're playing as a support hero with sort of minimal base damage, and trying to get the last hit, because those creeps do a lot more damage. It makes the timing a little bit more awkward, and sometimes you miss a little bit more last hits with the experience. For sure, just you do acquire it a lot faster due to the fact that the camp's dying. Well, if you're really focusing on denies with that with the triple stack pull, if you get the right ones, and well, they have a bunch of feeble vagabonds here, so it's not the best setup, but still, it's going to be providing them quite a lot of momentum here. They have no wards for this Keeper as well, so we see Keeper already rotating in, trying to begin the Ancients, not wanting to really deal with this Ophelia and Tort who could potentially come out and gank him. Look at Ophelia, already has that dust. Meanwhile, I'm going to take a look at the other lanes while that pull is going on. We see the Lodestone versus the Master of Arms here. Master of Arms is a phenomenal 1v1 laner in this side lane, but Lodestone, so far, I mean, with that pulled regen, able to get his last hits in, he's doing great, pretty much contending for even CS here, so.
Yeah, doing well in that bottom lane. Master of Arms sitting on, not quite going for that Ring of the Teacher just yet. Instead opted for the boots, trying to get the additional ability.
Yeah, and a little bit easier to harass the melee hero at that point. The thing about this is he does have those the Lodestone plates, which helps mitigate a lot of the harass, and a lot of the control that Master Arms is seeking to get into the lane won't happen until, especially during this first couple minutes of the lane when the pulled regen is kicking in. A lot of times you don't see the disparity actually in their farm. It's like, the ratio is trying to whittle down and burn through their regen at that point. You see the goal charts sort of flow a little bit differently, but yeah, for now, Master Arms is doing what he can to sort of box Lodestone away from the wave, and Lodestone just doing where he can with his hatchet, so pretty neutral right now. We'll have to see the level 6 Lodestone factor when it actually comes into play.
Yeah, that lodestone factor, going to be looking forward to that one. Do want to point out that there was a counter ward up here from VN Sensation playing the Ophelia. Managed to free up his own medium camp over here next to the top rune. Illusions just picked up by Torture, and he's actually gotten 7 CS from that pull, hit level 3 as well. And meanwhile, Pebbles continues to farm off of the tower over here, currently at 30 CS, and he's sitting at 374 gold per minute. Sergo having outstanding farm here 4 minutes in.
Yeah, wow, it's actually ridiculous. What's wrong?
Good take cover there. They've been trying to set up this hook on Devo with the ice imprisonment, but Ninja Peewee realizing that he can take cover even though he is imprisoned by ice. He's got those take covers on lock.
Yeah, I mean, Bubbles is just a really tricky thing to have to deal with. They're more focusing on the fact that Devourer is going to get pretty much perfect in eyes since Bubbles can't really last hit. He doesn't want to use his nuke to get last hits either because that would push the lane, so he's just trying to absorb as much experience as possible. Otherwise, a neutral lane. So you see the experience in gold in favor of the Legion team, but I still like how the Hellborn team actually laned it up. I think it was a lot safer, and I think they might be able to do more as they approach the mid portion of this early game.
Now, something interesting to note in the bottom lane, Lodestone was actually the first to hit level 6 down here. Master of Arms about 30 seconds behind in that race, but Lodestone does have that level 6 factor now. We'll see if he tries to use the Shatterstorm into the headbutt combination to actually get some massive damage, but who knows?
Yeah, he has lane control right now, though, and he's actually a little bit ahead in overall experience for the lane. It was just due to the fact that it was pushed up, that the creeps that were...
Bubbles in trouble mid. Nice take cover. Sorry to interrupt you there, but it looks like a Torture with boots coming in. Lands the chain reaction, and Devo's now the one that's going to go down. Defensive Master's Call is there. The last auto attack, though. And VN Sensation brings home the kill. Wow, that was a great turnaround on a potential death there for Peewee.
Yeah, and the defensive Master's Call use doesn't say if he's able to get his Steam Boots up on bottom lane and have that Master's Call, he should be pretty impervious to this Lodestone combo from being an insta-kill. Unfortunately, his Master's Call is down. I still think with Steam Boots he'll be just fine. He has the gold for them now, 1180. He better pick him up from the side chop.
He's walking over there, so they are. But, wow. Devo and Glacius looked like they had an almost assured kill onto Bubbles, but another beautiful take cover to dodge a hook. And then just bad times if you are Alliance player. Chain reaction going to connect once more here. There's a haste coming in. Shatterstorm is available. Great blast shot, though, and that might have just saved Flensmeister's life. He's still being run down by a hasted Lodestone, and it looks like he's still going to go down. Man. VN Sensation.
Yeah, I said he could survive the Lodestone combo. I didn't say he could survive a hasted Lodestone with Torture support. I mean, that is just... that is a whole new ball game. So unfortunately, I mean, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but yeah, unfortunate for him, I should say. Support doing a great job roaming around the map.
Oh, about to be a big fight middle lane. There's the King's Grass going to be coming out here. Hook comes in, bringing Bubbles to his death. Pebbles is there with the combo. See you later, Tempest. The tower does go down in favor of the Legion team, but 2 more deaths.
Yeah, 1 for each side. Tempest falling indeed. But yeah, they did get the tower. So far, I mean, you would expect the game almost to be in, based on the recent plays, you'd expect it to be in AFK Milking Cow's favor, but you still see they do have that sort of gold lead. You compare the Tempest versus Ophelia, that's usually pretty common. Let's see how they're actually stacking up. Pretty even, only like 30 gold disparity, and Pebbles is still at the top of the game there at 412. Bubbles did have to sacrifice a lot of his farm, though, in middle lane to that Devourer, so that's where a lot of it is coming from.
Yeah, it is indeed. I want to actually bring a highlight to the Pebbles build here. Going with that level 1 enlarge at level 6. I mean, what do you think about that?
I think it can be okay if you're just going for a pure CS at the tower and such. It's not, if you're planning on being aggressive and fighting, you might want the other way, but it gives his auto attack a little bit more presence, and it's honestly fine. It does increase your chuck damage a bit. It's not something that we see all the time, but for what he's doing up here, which is mostly passive farming, and outlast hitting anyway, there's nothing wrong with it.
All right.
He's going to be like level 9 or 10 by the time he fights anyway again, so.
Yeah,
you saw right there, he was able to roam to mid and pick up the kill on Tempest. Makes lane control ultra easy. Look at that. Pretty much when the creep is out.
Shatterstorm combo bottom, but Lodestone's now the one that's in trouble. And the Ice Imprisonment comes in. The Forked Lightning, unfortunately, missing. There's the Offensive Master's Call with the Glacial Blast, though, and the TP support comes in. Immediately, Lion's going to fall back. Seal Kid drops a lane ward as well. Man, if that Forked Lightning had not missed, they might have been able to get that kill.
Well, it's his maxed out ability, man, and I'm pretty sure it was during the minus magic armor period from the Shadow Storm. Am I wrong?
I believe so.
Or no. It might have been after it, but either way, that is his maxed out ability. Definitely could have probably led to the kill there with the additional slow on top of the auto attack. So
Portal Key just picked up on Pebbles. Unfortunately, he is, well, just kidding. He is here. Deny coming in from support, so great job. The Lion's not going to dive for that one. And...
oh, in the river, though, Devourer is there. Pebbles is a little bit hungry, but he does have the support from two teammates, Glacius and Tempest, so he's not going to be able to jump right there. And if he walks over here, Seal Kid's ward is actually going to spot him out. So now they know the positioning of Pebbles, so probably not going to be able to pick up a kill here on the middle lane. Unless they make a bit of a mistake there. Devourer is quite tanky, has those vestments, has those steam boots. It's pretty much immune to a solo Pebbles kill in all capacities. So,
yeah, if they do bring Ophelia over here, the Bubbles plus Pebbles combination with the Ophelia follow-up might be enough. But of course, diving into that tower with TP support available from heroes like Master of Arms and Keeper of the Forest with that counter route could be a very, very bad time. Instead, we're going to see the Hellborn team start to rotate into this top lane, where Ophelia is now level 7, picks up a Vagabond leader, and looks like they might try to start a push here.
yeah, not a lot of heroes that the Pebbles can actually solo pick off on this team. He doesn't have like a Naluna red power throw to sort of assist in that. So yeah, I think the team fight route with his Portal Key is a bit better for sure. Feely's heal being used to just top the creeps off and assist in this push. Pebbles has the illusions, and he's using one of the illusions to kite the creep wave out in front. Tempest getting ever closer to his Astrolabe as well, so yeah, it's a lot of good back and forth momentum. I mean, not much else to say about this game. With the Lodestone in the bottom lane, he does have his Shadow Storm combo up, but Master Arms doing an effective job of sort of boxing him out. Not too much else going outside this push middle lane now.
Yeah, and the Lion's going for the counter push here, and that counter push came on a tier 2. Oh, nice hook coming in, using the Shell Surf there. Gonna actually drop the Kelpfield as well. The root held, and good job using that root. Jin Chan does take down Bubbles.
What about the root?
He started to cast it and then held it.
And then he canceled it out. Yeah, I saw the pump fake coming out from the Keeper of the Forest there.
And more tower trading, yeah.
And they are aggressively pushing top, so just both teams content to sort of avoid direct encounters right now. They both have pretty massive teamfight lineups actually on either side.
Yeah, absolutely. The Tempest Keeper pushing power is certainly here. Going to be dropping down the 4th tower of the game, completely clearing out this wave. Devo is TPing in. He's going to try to set up for a hook right now. And doesn't look like he's
sneaky, man, but yeah, support not going to linger.
Not going to linger indeed, but Lions with that push and a few pickoffs, they are back up in gold and experience now. So AFK Milking Cows, they had that very, very early Portal Key on Pebbles, and he's even sitting on another 1,000 gold. But so far, unable to do anything with that. And right now, Lions is even stealing some triple ancients.
Well, same thing, yeah, on both sides. Lions was taking them, AFK Milking Cows was taking their ancients, so both teams sort of mimicking each other's motions. Lions doing a little bit better job of controlling the resources, though, and otherwise, I mean, they did a faster job pushing as well, so getting all the bottom towers as well. It's only the top lane remaining for them.
Yeah, would not doubt that Lions will be moving up into that top lane here within the next few minutes as we see more pulling going on. 5 camps actually just stacked there for the Hellborn team, so utilizing 3 different people, making sure that they are maximizing their resource farm. Back in the Lions side of things, though, Tempest did finish up that Astrolabe. Going to be making his way maybe towards some boots, maybe toward a Portal Key, who knows. Hanskin definitely going to be making his way toward another item pretty soon, though. And Seal Kid, 13 minutes in, sitting on a mana battery plus steam boots. That's the advantage of taking all these early towers.
Yeah, Torture as well, though. I mean, he's nearing his steam boots combination as well, so keeping up. I mean, honestly, both sides I'm looking at, the thing I find it to be most difficult for is that they're not really able to have that Pebbles effect this game. Of going around and controlling the map for your carry. I mean, they're all sort of just building up items here for this major team fight that they're looking for here. Lodestone just picking up his Portal Key as well.
Now with that Lodestone portal key and Pebbles, they could certainly be looking to set something up. It looks like Hanskin is going to get an invis here. There's a Ward of Revelation dropped by support. Hanskin going to be going deep around, though. I don't know exactly what the point of that one was. Maybe just getting a little bit of a scout off.
What's that?
What is going on with Hanskin? He just ran invis up the middle lane and then walked over here with a Ward of Revelation. I think that Ward of Revelation is now going to block that camp. Might,
He's
at least.
sort of scouting things out, yeah, should be. Yeah, I don't know, man. They're just kind of waiting out. Keeper of the Forest nearing his portal key, and that's kind of what they need. They have no other, primary initiator outside of potentially a hook. Besides that, so they are really reliant on this Keeper of the Forest portal key. And with Tempest building up the team support items, he doesn't have to go that route.
Now, Devo did opt to go for the Shaman's Headdress first, rather than the Helm of the Black Legion that we'll sometimes see Super KGE roll. Do you think that we're going to see something like a Barrier Idol coming out of Devo very, very quickly here? Or do you think that maybe an initiation tool like a Portal Key, or even more tanky-oriented items like that Helm, are going to be the first choice on Super KGE's Devo?
I'm definitely a fan of whenever you can pick up those team support items, especially the combination, the Astrolabe and Barrier Idol, sooner than later. Especially look at the Hellborn team, which is pretty much all magic damage. Tempest finishing up his Astrolabe here is still a while away before he would pick up something like a Barrier Idol. So I could definitely agree with him picking up that item and just going for, massive team fight ASAP. They do have a gold and experience advantage just a bit, but it's enough to make a difference here. So yeah, I would like to see Devourer actually grab it, and then he can work towards other routes. Something it'll free up the Tempest to go for something more like that Portal Key Shrunken Head as well.
Yeah, and that's absolutely something that they would want to get, with the Skeleton King being the only one that would be able to break that.
Look at Torture here.
Yeah, Glacius may be in some trouble here. Now, he does have that movement speed advantage over Torture, just, actually he does not, because Glacius is so damn slow.
Yeah.
Even with those Steam Boots, not going to be fast enough. Torture does go for the stun. There's the assistance of MOA right there, though. Defensive Master's Call going to be used, and it looks like they will retreat back into the trees. Now, there are 5 players here from the Hellborn team. Now, how's the Legion going to respond? They should know everybody's here because of this Ward of Sight from Steel Kid deep in the lane.
Yeah, easily they know it. Keeper of the Forest did pick up his portal key at this point, so right now just choosing to sort of split push and go top, but he's going into the trees here. He is choosing to port pretty early to the back of the tower. They do have vision. Torture going in for the stun.
And will get it. The combo onto Keeper of the Forest. Keeper goes down immediately. Now Elemental Void going to catch 2. Interrupted, though. Lodestone and Pebbles both in some trouble. Pebbles is likely going to fall right here. No, he's going to get out of there for just a moment. Lodestone and Pebbles do get out. Bubbles goes down. Tower goes down. There's the chuck on the Master of Arms. Fork Lightning finishes off Pebbles, though. Lodestone the last one up. Devo making to look this going to make this a genocide, but the hook misses, and Devo instead goes for the Ophelia creeps. The one-on-one battle, and Super KGE chokes.
Oh, did he get frozen by a creep there for a sec? Why did he stop chasing with the rot? Did he get frozen by a creep? I was so focused on the potential hook and the Lodestone getting away. Did he actually get stunned out, and was he forced to use hook to try to kill him?
No, I think the Ophelia creeps just actually moved in and intercepted the hook that would have actually gotten the hook and the kill, but
yeah, I know.
Either way, Super KGE unable to secure that genocide. A 4-for-4 trade plus the tower for the AFK Milking Cows team, but Lions still retains that little bit of resource. It started with a fantastic pick-off onto that Keeper of the Forest.
Yeah, plus Devo was able to clean up really hard, got a ton of strength for that fight. On top of that, Lodestone had to go back to base where he was able to sort of farm the wave, so... Actually... not the tower either, man. The tower wasn't dropped, so...
Why does Devo only have 3 cadaver armor right now?
What do you mean?
He only has 3 charges on the cadaver armor. Like there were 4 deaths in that bottom lane.
He probably just got it in the middle of the fight, though. He might have went for the straight damage from Decay and Guzzling Hook earlier.
Possible, at least. Bubbles in some trouble up top. The Glacial Blaster there. 3-man root. The hook going to be coming in onto Lodestone. Chuck going up. Tortured likely going to drop in the front lines right here. And he will go down. There's Lodestone coming back in. Has the Shatter Storm right now. And oh my god, he almost annihilates Keeper of the Forest. Keeper dies to the tower. And Hasted Devo now going to be looking for Ophelia. There's the King's Grass coming in. Devo going the wrong direction. Does get the hook this time onto Ophelia. The Astrolabe not going to keep her alive for too long. And 4 more players taken out by the Legion team. They're going to capitalize with some more kills onto the Ophelia minions, and this is Lions starting to snowball.
That was a really smart team fight coming out for Lions. I gotta say it. The way Devo positioned, he had the haste rune. They knew the timing was great. Figured that the enemy team might be a little bit confident knowing Tempest ultimate was down, but Keeper, as you remember, he got blown up. He got blown up at that bottom tower in a fight, which I actually thought they committed way too much, because, I mean, Keeper is inherently taking. In order to kill him, they had to invest a lot, and they had to dive in pretty deep against a team that has a Tempest and a Devourer, which can really punish people for diving in the first place. Not to mention that Glacial Downpour completely tore people up, so... Anyway, the Keeper of the Forest had his ultimate up still. He was positioned in the trees. The root led into an easy hook for Super KG, hiding there. Isolated the lodestone from the fight, and from there on out, they felt pretty useless, man. They just kind of had to crumble and fall to the might of Lions' lineup. So, really impressive setup and timing coming out so far. And AFK Milking Cows, who in the early game was contending toe for toe quite easily, is now just slipping further and further behind.
And that's honestly what I would expect, as Lions' strong point, I think we can all agree, is in fact their team coordination. Devo actually caught out of position here, activating the barrier idol, and is trying to get away. Offensive Master's Call, helping him to dodge the chain reaction stun.
He's going back in.
He's going to grab this refreshment rune. I don't think he's going back in, man. I think you're insane.
He's going back in on the 3. No.
Emperor, I think you're insane. But he did go that barrier idol route, so go on the team fight items. Just to try to improve that presence even more. And, ooh, bottom lane. There's the rocket coming in. Master of Arms in some trouble. The Kelpfield is there. Uses the blast shot. Support is here. Elemental Void catching 3. The hook back going to save Master of Arms. The root under 3 as well. There's the meteor on top of the root and the DK. Bubbles is going to be the third one going down right here. Keeper of the Forest punches him in the face. And 3 down. Beautiful setup here from the Lions, and Hanskin. Right place, right time with that Elemental Void.
Yeah, that's the Lions team I'm used to seeing, man. The team fights that look like everything just fits together perfectly without a hitch. Like, not even minor mistakes being made. Tempest showing up at the perfect time. Huge Elemental Void. And then you saw right there the hook back onto his teammate who was really low health. Who was it, the Master?
Yep, Master of Arms.
Hook back onto the Master of Arms. He ran in. On top of the support was just perfect fight. Keeper of the Forest lands that root, extends the duration in which they're being torn apart by the Devourer, and just a phenomenal last 3 team fights coming out from Lions Esports Club, man, and sealing the deal for that game.
They absolutely did. So very well played here by the Lions Esports Club. As soon as they were able to start getting involved with their massive team fight potential in that Keeper of the Forest and Tempest, well, they absolutely had that game secured. And just 20 minutes in right there, they were able to take it. So not bad. Emperor, this AFK Milking Cows team, they've looked strong, but against the Lions, I don't know, man. This one's going to be difficult.
Yeah, I don't know. Still, you saw early on, AFK Milking Cows was doing the right things. We saw support and the Ophelia extra rotating, setting up a bunch of kills, big plays across the board. The hasted lodestone play on bottom 2 where support, I think he gave him... Did he give him the bottle, or did he pick up the haste from bottom lane? I forget where he got that haste rune from, but yeah, they had the hasted lodestone taking out the Master of Arms. They were just looking very sound, but you know, it's that Keeper of the Forest, Tempest, man, the massive team fight. Even if you take out one, the other one still has the power to change the tides of a fight. So that on top of the Super KG, Devo just proved to be way too much.
Well, we will see Game 2 going to be coming up next. Will AFK Milking Cows go down in 2? Will they force a third? Will they give up Keeper of the Forest, Tempest again? We'll have to see. Guys, we're going to take a quick break while we get the next game set up. This is the Swedish Pride DreamHack Qualifiers semi-finals. One of these 2 teams going to the grand finals and going to be playing for a shot at a trip to Jönköping, Sweden. We're going to be right back with game number 2, guys. Beef, Emperor, and Hodcast going to be